on why in the world do flippers do this? How do we make money? What does it even mean when flippers talk about profit and returns and stuff like that? So I'm sitting in a house, just got redone. Going to put this up for rent, and I thought this would be a good place to do this video. Except there's a chirping smoke alarm, and maybe we can AI edit this thing out. I don't know. But anyway, we're just going to push through, and hopefully it's not too annoying. So this question came up because not because like I don't know how to do the business and make the money, but uh, it's more about how do you, if you want to do this, if you want to buy discount properties, renovate them, and then sell them for a profit and make it a business, you got to actually know what you're in business to do. You actually got to know what you're bringing to the marketplace. And I'm not going to go too deep into like business school 101, but ultimately, you got to bring some value to the marketplace to get paid for it. And that's what flippers and renovators, that's what we get paid to do, is bring value to the market space. And what is that value? Well, we actually are providing value by renovating homes and getting them back for sale for the community at a reasonable price and providing safe, secure housing that is ready to move in. Now, there's a lot to that, and you could do that in many different ways. But ultimately, the value we bring is that most people don't want to deal with buying a house. Most people certainly don't want to deal with contractors, and they don't want to, or they can't deal with it. They can't pay for it out of pocket. They got to wrap it into a 30-year mortgage to make it affordable. And also, most people kind of want a pretty decent place to live. They don't want to deal with home renovations their whole life. They would rather buy a house that they can live in and spend their time, energy, money on things outside, like kids' sports activities or traveling or schools and stuff like that, right? So they don't have to spend all their energy on fixing up a house. So that's what we do. We provide that. And there's there's I don't know if y'all hear this sometimes. I've heard it before. Like people are like, "Oh, you flippers, you just throw lowball offers. You're terrible, just trying to take people's houses and lowball." And it's like, no, that's not what we do, because that doesn't work. Our inventory, in order to do this business, we actually have to have a seller that's willing to sell their property at a price that makes sense for us to then fix it and give it to someone else to buy at a reasonable price. And so that's, I mean, that, in a nutshell, right? That's kind of what we're doing. But for more detail, like that's what we have to do. And if you're trying to buy properties from sellers, from owners, from agents, if you don't know what you're bringing to the marketplace, you don't know how to make that. You don't know how to tell them what you're doing and make a good offer. So that's what we're doing here. And yes, there should be, just like every other business out there, just like if you go to a to go get your oil changed, yeah, the parts and labor to put the oil change together is like maybe $15. They charge you $50. And we're okay with that because it's a service. They're doing my oil change, because even though I might be able to do it, I don't want to spend the time, the energy, the money to do it myself. Same thing with the house. So yes, you should have some profit at the other end of that. If you're buying houses, renovating them, and selling them, and there's not profit at the other end, you're doing something wrong. You're either not providing enough value to the marketplace, so like you're giving them an ugly home or a home that's not done, it's not fixed up enough, or you are spending too much on the front end, or you're spending too much on your renovations so that you don't have any money left. It's real easy to head down to Lowe's and spend a bunch of money. So, all right, that's kind of big picture. Let me give you some practical things of how we actually make money in this business. And I wrote them down because I wanted this to be helpful. And sometimes my brain can get scattered. So, buying property, renovating and selling for a profit. Yes, if it's a business, you guys should be trying to get revenue and generating a profit. So, the first thing that we have to find properties that are some people, you got to find underpriced properties. You got to find a property that's at a discount. Now, the amount of discount all depends on where you are, what you're going to do with it, and that sort of thing. But it should be at a discount because that discount helps you put money into it to then make a profit. Okay. So where do you find them? You gotta, look at the good hot spots. Look where people want to live, cities, towns, neighborhoods where people want to move into, and find a house in there that's at a discount. How do you buy them? Big, huge question. And we cover this in our community and our deal partner program. We set people up with the financing to buy them, but you really have to buy it right with the right financing. If you spend too much on the financing or you put too much down payment, it can really mess up your ability to fix it properly. Okay. So buying it right with the right financing, with the right terms, and at the right price is super important. And then big piece here, renovations and timeline. I really think this is probably where we bring the most value to the market, which is we renovate strategically. We don't over renovate. Like I tell people, the HGTV renovations where you just take a sledgehammer and knock everything down. Yeah, that's a lot more fun. Yeah, we could spend a whole weekend and it's a lot of fun to just tear everything up. But what happens is you got to put all that back together. And if you spend too much putting it back together, then you can't provide an affordable or a reasonable price property for the next buyer, right? So strategic upgrades, focusing on kitchens and baths and things that matter like that. And then the timeline, man. And people, I was talking about, like, people don't want to deal with renovating their home. The time it takes, oh my gosh, we've had a couple of friends through church and things like that have had floods, like their dishwasher or washing machine bust, and they got to do a major home renovation that they weren't planning on, and they're out of the house for like 8 months, like no kitchen for 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, and with kids at home, God, I don't know. I don't want to do that. And I have a feeling most people don't want to deal with that. So us being able to renovate quickly and have a property done that and ready fast helps us bring value to the marketplace. So if we spend too much time fixing it, then it's going to cost us more money. It's going to cost us all the returns that we could potentially get because we got to pay for that time. The cost and the project management is a huge piece of our program, huge piece of what we talk about and teach. And if you want more of this, by the way, hopefully this is helpful. We have an awesome podcast, the Real Estate Deal Finders podcast, and then our YouTube channel. I'll link. You should be able to find those links here, but YouTube is at Deal Finders. So I go through a lot of these different topics and answer a lot of different questions there. So check that out. And we also have a Facebook group, so you can come join there, ask questions as well. But project management, cost management, keeping track of the expenses is so important. I don't know. I can't tell you how many times we talk in our weekly calls with our community about the houses that are now for sale that are half renovated because people ran out of time, ran out of money. And this is telling me that I'm reconnecting. I hope I'm still there. I just said that I was reconnecting. So hopefully you heard me talk about the houses that are on the market that are half renovated because people ran out of time, ran out of money. So cost management, time management is the biggest thing that you can do to bring value to the market. And then selling for a profit. The only way to do this, you guys, is to do it in the beginning. Get the right renovations, buy it right, strategically renovate things, stay on time, stay on budget. You want to have a good marketing strategy. A lot of people talk about market timing. The best time to sell is right now, right? Because you want to get on the market as fast as possible. Understanding your local market is probably going to have ups and downs, and preparing for those things. When we buy a property, we know what market we're going to be listing it in, and we do our numbers based on that. So coming out of the renovation, a couple of keys is having your local market knowledge. Know what's happening. Know what's towns. And we're reconnecting again. This is very frustrating. Sorry, I don't know what's happening. Hopefully you can cut that out. It's really funny that that's still beeping. So local market knowledge, know the towns you want to buy in, the neighborhoods you want to buy in, the cities, what key features to look for, water, mountains, whatever. Knowing that local market is crucial to actually making this business work. Having some experience with renovations and dealing with contractors and projects and the best things you could bring to this business. And then that financial piece, the financial management. I know just don't teach financial management the way that it would work in this business unless you do this business, unless you get in and really feel it and do it. You can have a partner help you, a consultant, somebody to help you do that piece so that you get it right the first time. You guys, there's tons of risks in flipping and buying real estate, and you probably know that if you're listening to this. Lots of things can come up. We mitigate those risks in the beginning, like the whole time, the renovation budget, the finance costs, the market fluctuations. My gosh. I thought this app was supposed to like block phone calls and it didn't block that one. So here I am again. Yes. So we mitigate those risks like rising costs, the hold time, the finance costs, the taxes, the unexpected things in the budget. We mitigate those in the beginning with proper training, proper education, proper partners and coaching and whatever you need there. But going into this business, eyes wide open, looking at the risks, mitigating the risk with your education, with your knowledge, with your team, so that you could still do the business and on the end come out with a return on it. So I know that's a lot, but I'm telling you, really flippers can still make a profit in today's market. They are still needed in today's market. And, just like going to buy a brand new car, a certified pre-owned or a used one off of Craigslist, right? There's a buyer in each section. The investors like us, the flippers like us, we want to buy the on Craigslist, make it look nice, fix it, make it safe, fix any of the damage that could cause problems later. Upgrade the fixtures, the mechanicals, HVAC, roof, all those things, make it nice, and then sell it as that certified pre-owned quote in the car dealership world. So yes, if you guys are interested in learning more about that, let me know. You can shoot me a DM. It's saying it's reconnecting. Hopefully editing is going to have to help this out because it keeps buffering. I don't know what to do about that. But if you want to learn more about this, reach out. You can send me a DM, listen to the podcast, find us on YouTube. And ultimately, if you have decided that real estate is the way that you want to create wealth, generate some financial freedom, or just make it your new income, send me a message because we have a deal partner program to help people do that exact same thing. You might be a fit for that. If you think you are, you can apply for that at any time. So dealfindersclub.com, look for that there. And then I'll see y'all on the next one.